Had a lovely email from Mark about the Manic Street Preachers and what they mean to him. I'll come back to that a little bit later on. But last week, on the Friday, they played at the Why Not Music Festival. And before he took to the stage, I caught up with Nicky of the Manics. Just reflecting on the first time I met you was live on a Saturday night going back, I think, the time of the Holy Bible. And I was terrified about having you on the show live and how it would work out.
Yes, they were quite dark times. And we might have looked fierce, but we were little puppies in your hands, probably. It's funny that it was a Saturday night. I'm trying to think what we'd have been doing to have a day up, a badly routed tour, perhaps.
I think you were playing in Rock City that night.
That's what I think. Maybe we did. It was a late gig, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And so let's fast forward 12 albums later, and you are going strong, still denting the chart massively, and still thousands of adoring fans, when most of your counterparts from the time have long since withered on the vine.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You survey the landscape sometimes, and you do feel pretty lonely. It's just our ability to still excite each other. You know, I'm not quite sure where it comes from or how it happens, but it's still a kind of an artistic tension between the three of us that just still gives us goosebumps. You know, as long as we can translate that, you know, on record at our gigs, then we're all right.
Well, the Resistance is Futile. When I listened to it old school on a CD, and when I put it into the CD player, I was startled by the variety on there and how uplifting it was. It felt like a new area, or a recaptured era, I guess, to the Manics.
It's a bit of a pick and mix of styles, you know. I think after Futurology, which was very kind of rigid and stylistic, it was really ferocious in its ideals, but I just didn't think we could pull that off again, and we just wanted every song to stand on its own merit as something gorgeous and exciting and stimulating, hopefully, you know. So it's like a bunch of singles put on an album.
Nicky, how do you even begin to decide on a set list for what you're about to go out and perform at Why Not tonight?
This is really tricky because we're only playing for an hour, so you cram in
only an hour.
13 or 14 songs, you know. Usually live we're up to 24, maybe 25, so it's you know, sprinkling of the new record and a lot of big, you know, we don't try and be too clever in these circumstances, you know. I know people want to hear certain songs and they'll get it. We're doing in between days by The Cure. We've been doing that lately, so that's a nice little treat.
Your songs, of course, have always meant so much to so many people, right from day one, actually. Do you still get messages? Well, I'm guessing because you're more accessible by social media these days, you must hear more examples of what your songs mean to people and what they've done to people.
I mean, it's truly staggering how many people have done PhDs and degrees on our lyrics and all the references that lead to other things, and in art and in poetry. You know, it's just much more than influencing people who are in bands. We've influenced people who've just gone through their lives and picking up all those clues that we've left, which is really, really nice, you know, rather than inspiring some awful indie band.
No, it was actually that I meant. It was about the landmarks. Yeah. I mean, for my own life, there are a number of Manics tracks that mean the world to me, and I don't know what it is that you did and what you do with your music to achieve that. Long may it continue, but you must hear my story 1,000 times over.
I think it's a mixture. You know, there is obviously some talent involved, but there's also a huge amount of commitment that you can tell. Even going back to Richey's famous "For Real" thing, you know, if we don't convince ourselves when we're making or releasing a record, we just know it's not going to be good and it's not going to mean anything to anyone else. So that intense commitment we have to the cause, it's still there. You know, it can be quite destructive at times and all engrossing, but it's certainly still there.
Nicky, a pleasure to catch up with you again. Thank you very much indeed.